See, is that the one?
Here we go. That's the noise you'll hear. Breaking glass, and under that glass, Copperhead Road. If you do hear that song today, folks, you'll know that we have had some sort of major meltdown here in the studio. We've had to smash the glass and go for the old Copperhead Road. Anyhow, hopefully that won't be necessary, Mick, and everything will be as smooth as Climmy's melon on finals night. So, plenty to talk about, Mick. The opening ceremony. We got Rick Birch, I think, hopefully coming on the line a bit later on, the man himself. Bit of a chat about Friday night's opening festivities and hopefully clear up once and for all why you and I were overlooked.
We'll get to the bottom of that.
For some involvement in the ceremony. I hope he's got a good answer for us. Of course, we'll be yakking about Australia's ball-tearing start to the games of the 27th Olympiad. We've won quite a few medals so far. McAvaney Jones, first person to win a medal for Australia. She picked up a silver. Wow, McKaylee, she's going to come on for a bit of a chat.
Great.
Probably a tad disappointed she didn't pick up bronze, Mick. But,
she trained too hard. It's obvious.
We'll ask her about that. We're going to talk to Shane Kelly, who picked up a bronze. Looking forward to talking to him. We've got heaps more to talk about. We've got some crap to give away, I think, Mick. We're going to throw open the phone lines so people can give us their thoughts on the games. And, of course, we're going to have the thoughtful insights of your good self. Mick Molloy. I'm Billy Birmingham. This is Going for Bronze right around Australia on Triple M, and it's all thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games.
Is Going for Bronze, thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games with Mick Molloy and one Billy Birmingham.
One Billy Birmingham. That's it's not one Antonio. It's one Billy Birmingham. I like it, Fitz.
And Fitzy, it's afternoon, mate.
What's that?
You said morning. You said morning. Drug test. Drug test.
Can someone get Fitzy to pee in a bottle for us?
Please.
And boys, I'm feeling a little bit Bruce McAvaney today. You know, it only takes just a couple of nights of watching the guy.
Oh yeah.
And I said to Froggy the other night, you know, if the camera was a human being, Bruce would be up for sexual harassment. The way that guy looks at the camera, I mean, you've almost got to drop into the voice while you're doing. He looks at the camera, and then the eyes are as wide as saucers. I can't believe it. He's almost climbing over the desk into the camera. Are you getting off at it like I am? I hope so.
It's like Elvis Presley. You can only shoot him from the waist up.
But he was wound up like a bit of a clock there for the as he would be.
Oh, it's a big moment for Bruce.
He would be.
He's been home practicing names for 4 years.
Exactly.
Although I still want to see him attempt Paul Vanden Doodle.
Well, you and I have got to tackle that one a bit later on.
Hello.
But Bruce, there he is, wound up like a clock. Obviously a big gig, and his classic opening. One of the opening lines just before they actually went to the live telecast was, 3.7 billion people watching. That's over 3 billion people. And it had all of us. It had all of us reaching for the calculators.
Yeah. Well done, Bruce. Do you want to come back tomorrow and play for the cars?
3.7 billion people, and that is more than 3 billion. I just want you guys to remember that. Now, the other one was, I had to look this one. I had me reaching for the Oxford Dictionary. He said that this crowd continues to crescend. Now, he's obviously found a verb from the noun crescendo, and I'm thinking, if I've been hanging around here for 40-something years not knowing that there was such a word, I've reached for the Oxford, and sure enough, Bruce, that was bungle number 2.
None.
And then he's described it, Mick, hang on, one more, just 3, but the other one was, it's an elational night. An elational night.
Yeah. Haven't you ever had one of those?
No, I have. It's just that I haven't used the word before.
When he did the crescendo, you'll notice they went to an ad break, and when he came back, he did the O. Get confused, Billy.
I think it was, look, edit it together yourselves at home, he said.
Indeed.
Now, opening ceremony, Mickey, I think that's where we should start. I mean, because it's our first chance to speak to our listeners all around the country about you know, our impressions of the opening ceremony. Let me just take you back. You can take me back kind of music there for me?
How far back are we going? We're in the 50s.
Didn't actually want to go back to 56, mate. Just the other night would have been fine. Mickey, first thing we saw, I must admit, I was looking at, I thought they did a great, one of the main problems when you are doing entertainment on such a large scale. We've seen it happen at the AFL Grand Finals, all the bloody, you know, Rugby League Grand Finals. To focus everyone's attention onto such a large area is always very difficult. Now, they've done something there with the flooring. I'm keen to ask Rick Birch about this. I don't know whether it was like a canvas thing with a motley sort of effect. Yeah. But what that did was it helped harness everyone's or focus everyone in.
Sure did.
And I found that, because most of the time when you got Johnny Farnham or someone singing a bloody anthem, you have got logos for all the teams, and you've got stripes all across the field, and they really do up the focus of the whole event. So that was the first thing I noticed.
It was a bit of a worry for me, though, because I was watching it at home on drugs.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Next time, Rick, think of us.
He's
freaked me right out. I thought I was at a rave.
Mate, I wasn't going to tell anyone, but Mick's commented, geez, who vomited on the oval? And I didn't want to... But you're being honest enough to bring it up, Mick, so I'm going to chime in. Horseman was the first thing that came out, and I've got to tell you, I mean, maybe call me anal, call me banal. The first thing I'm worried about is poopsies. I'm thinking, there's a horse out here, and it's going to get lost a little bit, maybe in the motley background. But once I saw 120 of them coming out here, I thought, hello, here's trouble. I can see Julie Anthony stepping out in the stilettos and, come on. I can't sing into these circumstances.
I like the horses a lot, but I have one problem.
What?
Where were the Shetlands? Where are the Shetlands? They are always left out of the pomp and the ceremony and the majesty. What about your Clydesdale?
I'm writing it down.
What about a Clydesdale?
These are questions for bloody Rick Birch. Shetlands.
A Clydesdale.
Clydesdale.
Or at least a normal horse in Ugg boots.
Normal horse?
You see?
Normal horse in Ugg boots.
On that bombshell.
There's just too much to talk about.
This is Going for Bronze, live around Australia on Triple M, Birmingham.
And I must apologise for that stupid song interrupting our rave, Mick.
At least it wasn't Copperhead Road.
Exactly. It's a rock and roll station. They just want to bloody keep interrupting us for these things. Now,
not to worry.
I think when I left you, Mick,
we were talking horses.
There were 120 horses coming on.
That's
and
right.
When can we have more of that? Can we have more of that? Take us back, kind of? Thank you very much. I'm afraid it is back to 56 again, Mick, but what can we do about it?
He's actually playing that live on his xylophone, which is I'm finding really impressive. Thank you, good night.
Not the sort of instrument you usually find around a rock station. Nikki Webster.
Hello.
Young Nikki Webster. She is now probably a star of the world, I think.
Toast of the universe.
Toast of the universe. She was, of course, the lovely little girl who played a major part in the opening ceremony. She went off deep-sea dreaming, I think, Mick.
Deep-sea dreaming.
Among the fish and the sea dragons and the blue bottles and the jellyfish. I think she got stung there at one stage.
I think she might.
She might have required treatment later on.
I actually think if that's going to be an accurate depiction of the kind of water lying around Sydney, they should have suspended a couple of giant turds. That's all I'm saying. Floating by, not dangerously close to little Nikki. We wouldn't want an incident, but just one or two.
Yeah.
Is that asking too much?
Well, it would have been honest. It would have been honest, but I think, when you're putting on this sort of show, you've got to put anything potentially tasteless aside for a minute. So they went with the sea dragons, blue bottles, box jellyfish. They're deadly. That was close enough. But it looked brilliant on TV. I thought little Nikki 30 metres suspended above the ground. The costumes were all fabulous and all the special effects that they had with their shimmering blue cloth.
Excellent.
Worked a treat. And then everything's going swimmingly, and then all of a sudden, bang, there's Laurie Lawrence up on the big screen. I'm thinking, what the is Laurie doing there?
Yeah, I did.
Thankfully, it was just a small sort of interlude where he was spruiking young Nikki on to swim faster and bigger and better things. And so that gave us a real heart attack, as you'll recall. It's like, hang on, what's happening here with Loza? Get him off.
But there's a little girl, suspended 30 feet above the ground, not frightened at all. Then she turns around, sees a huge load of Loza, goes, make it go away.
That's right. A director's nightmare. He had to cut away. So cut away from Nikki. She's freaked out at Laurie. And then Jackapura came on. Now, Mick, remember, you thought it was Farnham covered in talcum powder first up, didn't you?
For a minute. Once I focused, I was over it. I realised it was my mistake.
And he was leading young Nikki on a bit of a dream-time journey, summoning up all kinds of mysteries, or spirits, I think it was.
That'll do.
Summoning up spirits of the Gottawedgie and the Ripponundy tribes. And I think it was the Gottawedgie and the Ripponundis, I'm not too sure. And then the earth was scorched by fire. By this stage, I started to get a little bit scared. A little rating thing came up saying, this program contains supernatural themes. And I think it was very, very appropriate too.
Indeed.
But then everything grows again, Meg, and all the animals come out to play, and then Jimmy Cook arrived, you might recall, on the bike.
On the bike, I think he popped a mono. I think Captain Cook, I had no idea Captain Cook arrived from England on some kind of penny farthing.
No, he did. It was a penny farthing, and he put the old hand to the brow and looked out and said, Canal.
and Mr. Birch, I think Captain Cook should have been wearing a helmet. Isn't that the rules? A bicycle helmet of some description.
We won't let him get away with that either.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a few Ned Kellys running around wreaking havoc, and then we had a bit of corrugated iron. We had some wood shopping to symbolise, Mick, I think it was the industrialisation of this young country. And there was a colourful mosaic while Nicky belted out a tune under southern skies. And then some tap dancers came out, and that's when you were on your feet. Oh, we got a complaint. We got a complaint from bloody down at reception at the Key West Apartments. It says somebody tap dancing in room 1305. We said, yes.
Tapping up a stool.
Matter of fact, there is.
Indeed. Yeah, look, I can go on about this. My favourite moments in particular were Sir William Dean.
What happened?
I don't know what happened there. He lost the plot a little, didn't he? I think
he's normally such a eloquent.
This is a man who speaks every day. He does a lot of public functions, yet on this particular night, I think he would have struggled to get out the phrase, would you like fries with that? The microphone technique was less than adequate.
Well,
but
he's such a lovely guy.
He's a fantastic guy, one of the best Governor-Generals we've ever had. But
I was watching him, in the replays, and I'm thinking, what's happened to Billy Dean here? You know, like, was he looking a bit rocky? Was he looking nervy? Was he looking edgy? Was he looking like he's not in control? And he looked absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling my money is on Juan Antonio not giving him the cue.
You think that might have been the case?
I think, well, he said, call on the Governor-General, and he never said his name.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether that might have thrown him out again, Mick.
No, we'll have to get him on the show.
Get him on the line
We
now.
just won't give him his own mic.
Why not?
Hello.
Triple M's going for bronze, thanks to Coca-Cola Cap Off the Games. We talk to the man behind it all, Rick Birch, next. Triple M. Down the shallow end of the pool, going for bronze.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Billy Birmingham and Mick Molloy.
I'm the other one. And we're still banging on endlessly about the opening ceremony. We're getting it out of our systems, Australia.
Yep.
We'll leave it very soon and we'll move on with
We haven't even
job.
got to the entertainment yet, Mick.
Look, it was such a big occasion. Someone doesn't spend 7 years producing a show like this that, and it just disappears into the ether.
That's right.
It's one of the most culturally significant moments of the last 3 days.
And it's the first time the nation's had a chance to hear your thoughts on it, Mick, and I know they're hanging out.
Well, look, you know what? Okay, I think we've fluffed the pillows. I think we've gone through a lot of the stuff we really liked. Can I make one minor criticism?
Yeah.
And it's nothing anyone can really do, but it's the length of the athletes' parade because it does kind of go on and... It's a little longer than it used to be, and I blame the Soviet Union. Since the bust-up of those Eastern Bloc countries, there's another 10 countries that have to be announced.
10?
Thank God Korea united under the one flag, or we'd still be there. When it got to the S's, and man, how long did the S's go on for? I'm at home shouting at the telly, can I buy a vowel? I'd hate to be in the Albanian team. They were still sitting around. They needed a lie down. By the time Zambia came out...
Turkmenistan. I mean, there was just more stands than, buddy, you could poke a stick. I don't know where they all came from.
They're pulling the piss now, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
Hey, fashion-wise, favourite moment.
Who got it?
The Mongolian bloke.
Oh.
Any bloke who can come out in his underpants and Ugg boots with a makeshift cape around his back deserved to march. In fact, the scary thing was I was wearing exactly the same thing on the couch at the time.
He's a WWF contender, that guy.
He is. Someone should have run out and wedgied him.
Well, he actually had a pretty good job. There was plenty of crack showing there, I noticed.
There was indeed. And my other favourite moment would have to be when they brought out the giant sheet which they projected the images onto. I think this is the one where people got injured with at the dress rehearsals.
Burn, in fact.
That's right. But it was quite a spectacle to see this massive piece of cloth. I mean, for a minute I thought they'd short-sheeted Mel Colston's bed. It came down and it rolled down. It rolled over the top of everyone. It rolled over the top of the arena. And I'm just thinking to myself as I'm sitting there at home, man... What an opportunity for a Dutch oven. You know what I mean? You could have blown that place apart.
Maniac.
Have we got a caller?
Yes.
What's happening, Fitzy? Have we got a special guest on the
I think
line?
you have a special guest on the telephone.
And here he is, the man we've been talking about, the man who was responsible for it all. He must be feeling chuffed and pumped and very excited. Rick Birch. Rick Birch.
That was totally unexpected. What can I say?
Hello, Rick. How are you, sir?
Very well indeed. Thank you.
Can we begin by congratulating you? I mean, you know, we're having some fun with it, but what an enormous task. That's 7 years in the making. It's rated 72, which, as far as I can see, almost outrated Survivor. Yeah. You know, not quite. What is your immediate feeling when the curtain comes down? Are you just like off for a lie down?
Oh, no, that was actually a pretty relaxing night right up until when the cauldron stopped. And after that, it got a bit tense.
Can I ask you about that? Because, I mean, having worked a little with shows, we kind of know when things go wrong, time expands. Was that the longest 3 or so minutes of your life?
It was certainly pretty extensive. I was standing next to David Atkins, and we were both biting our tongues because we knew there was nothing we could do. The tech guys were. Yeah, there was a lot of silence in the control room. I thought it was one of the great signs of a very professional team that there was no screaming, total silence.
Oh, we thought it would have been, what the going on? What do you mean it's stuck? I'll give you stuck. It'll be stuck up you if you don't.
Hey, Rick, I expected to see you like a man gone mad, just running out to the middle of the arena with a set of jumper leads. I'll get it. It's okay. And how good was Kathy Freeman, I thought, who stood there quite composed.
Yep.
I'm sure she came out a little wrinkly.
Well,
like a prune.
Kathy was the absolute consummate professional. She'd only rehearsed it the night before, so maybe she thought, they're doing it differently tonight.
Yeah.
But,
well, no, she was great. She just she made it all look like, there were many people, Rick, who had no idea.
So I'm told. I'm not quite sure where they were looking at the moment the cauldron stopped, but anyway.
Yeah, no, well, the thing is that I think it was just a bit hard to pick up because it stalled in, the first couple of minutes. And therefore it hadn't travelled a long distance and then not gone the rest of its journey. So I've spoken to many people. I mean, the praise for it's been universal. Yes. You must be thrilled.
Oh, yeah. We actually have suspected for 7 years that it was going to be it was very difficult because I knew the start of the show was so strong. The whole cultural thing was developing so strongly. And after Barcelona...
Apart from the box jellyfish stinging little Nicky, that was pretty... that was most unfortunate. But these things happen, mate. These things happen.
We can't do it again, so we've apologised to Nick, and the swelling's gone down, and she's prepared to come back for closing now.
And the other thing that's got a lot of universal praise, I think, was and a tick in every box was the women racing the flame around the arena. It was in a classic Australian parlance. Ladies bring a torch.
Yeah.
And I haven't run into anyone who hasn't thought that was a bloody good idea.
Yeah. It was a great idea, and the plates of Lamingtons they all brought us still backstage.
Bring a plate, girls.
Hey, Birchie, can I ask you, what are you sitting on for Athens?
You got anything? Are you lined up for Athens?
Are you going to do it? I mean, do you get to a point now where you just walk away saying, I'm spent? I have no more...
No more juice left.
No more juice? What happens?
No, each ceremony so far, luckily I haven't run out of ideas, and they've all been quite different and fairly unique, and that's the way it happens. But I'd never really anticipated making a career out of the Olympics, so I think this is probably the last one.
And you did a magnificent effort, I thought, in concealing the identity of Kathy Freeman, who actually did light the flame. That in and of itself must be a huge task, a matter of subterfuge, of late-night rehearsals, because, frankly, I was tipping that there was actually just going to be someone lighting John Howard's eyebrows, which I was sure was going to, burn for 14 days. But no one I don't think anyone especially knew, especially as she'd already appeared in the arena that night.
That was a very clever bit of subterfuge. I wish I could take credit, but it's all John Coates and the AOC.
They're sneaky guys. That's all they do.
Look, I don't like to boast, but I actually picked Kath. I just,
Did you?
Everyone's having a little bit of an office sweep on who you thought it might be. I think the whole idea of the tribute to women with all of those wonderful girls, Dawny and Debbie Flintoff-King and everything, was fabulous. And you should be congratulated. You should feel very, very happy. One more question, mate. Is it true that the cauldron's being fuelled by lawsuits?
There was a very strong contender that was going to be fueled by the mighty blue flame, the methane that lies under Hamish at one stage. But we decided to go with natural gas as opposed to the other sort.
And my other favourite cutaway of the night was a quick shot of Bill Gates. And as he was sitting there watching it, you could see him, you could see his mind working, you could see him thinking to himself, I must get this guy to do my next surprise party. Thank you very much for joining us today, Rick, and again, sincere congratulations, and yeah.
Right, we might get a chance to have a chat to you before it's all over, and good luck with the closing ceremony too, mate.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for your time, Rick.
Thanks, bye.
There he is, Rick Birch.
Billy and Bronze live around Australia thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games with Billy Birmingham and Mick Molloy.
And wasn't that nice of Rick Birch to give us a call?
Good, absolutely.
A busy man, and thanks for fitting us into your schedule.
Thank you, Rick.
Hey, and we should also give a bit of praise too to, I suppose, the organisers who did a fairly good job getting everyone in and out of the venue with a minimum of fuss.
Absolutely.
Although the traffic wardens were a little heavy, I believe Betty Cuthbert was clamped.
Oh, really?
Out the front.
No.
Had her tyres chalked an hour or so beforehand.
See, someone should have been briefed about that, you know. I mean, it's okay, they've been told to do a job. You see a car, you see a wheelchair on the side, you know, I know you've got to... But chalking, that's crook.
It's a bit much. And again, I just must reiterate, Kathy Freeman, what a great job, standing there not knowing what was going on.
Yep.
She was there for a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, if you watch the opening ceremony again, you can see at one stage she's held the torch up for so long.
Yeah.
She changes hands. You know, you can see her ringing the other one out. And I was thinking, you know, someone just should have had the presence of mind while she was standing there, nothing to do. Mm-hmm. Chuck her a bottle of conditioner and shampoo. Get it out of the way while we're all up there.
Everybody shines with Loxine.
Yeah.
Now, listen, one thing I did, I actually thought of asking Rick the question, but it's a question been on everyone's lips. It was the pre-announcement, if you like, of Kathy Freeman.
Yes.
We're not too sure what went wrong there. I mean, the papers have probably rather kindly left it alone.
Yeah.
I haven't heard too much publicity about it, but having done, you know, the chat about who was going to be the final, who's going to light the cauldron, and what happened was he's announced Kathy Freeman. It would have been a good 150, 200 yards before Debbie Flintoff-King was anywhere near her. The crowd went into a premature applause.
And she had to pull the finger out.
She had to pull a finger
and get motoring. She had a stitch when she handed it over.
She had to get motoring, but I mean, I didn't want to ask him then because, you know, we already talked about the bloody machine jamming and stuff. But I'd love to know whether Johnny Stanton was on tape, or whether he was taking a cue from somebody, because it was just such a pisser that all of this big build-up to who's it going to be, and all of a sudden...
They blew it themselves. I said, this is the best-kept secret in the world. Hang on, we'll blow it. Hey, Billy, we've been banging on. Should we not hear from some of the punters from round this... Well, the only land I know claiming to be girt by sea.
That's right.
Shall we take some calls? And just from people generally, it doesn't have to be about the opening ceremony. We can move on now.
Well, we're going to move on. You and I got plenty to talk about with bloody golds and bronzes and silver. More gold, silvers, but more particularly bronze.
Bronze. We're going to get a tally count of the bronze a little later on.
That'll be coming up. But I'd love to hear what the punters all think. I mean, give us a call. The number here at the Going for Bronze hotline is 1-800-150-000. That number again, Mick?
What? Hey,
Got him.
I'm a radio veteran.
Got him. 1-800-150-000. You can talk about it. You can talk about the stupid word "girt" in our national anthem. I'm telling you, if that word was changed to "surrounded," our home is surrounded by sea. Yeah. There would be 19 million people feeling a load better. Oh, sorry. Who's the guy bleeping me out then? He didn't do a good job. People would feel so much better about our anthem.
I think so.
If that stupid word wasn't in there. I think it really does. Yeah. It just sets people up.
Sorry, Billy. So I'm a little distracted. Someone has told me that Bruce McAvaney is commentating from the studio right next door to us. Is that... Are we being had?
Open the door, Fitz.
Hang on a second.
And the Chinese take away sweet and sour memories from Sydney.
Billy and Mick, they failed their urine tests because they couldn't write their own name in wee. It's Triple M's going for bronze, thanks to Coca-Cola Cap Off the Games.
Cap off the games.
Now, what
You
we
want to
have here,
explain, Billy?
I just want to explain here, we've got the hammer in our hands. The hammer is here to smash the glass and release the CD of Copperhead Road, which we've told you all up front is in case of a major up. And we have a major up right now with the telephone system here at Triple M. People are being sacked as we speak, aren't they, Fitzy?
Yes, I believe so.
Not over the telephone.
No. Not over the phone, they're not.
No.
Did any calls manage to get through before the system decided to crash?
Yes, young man by the name of Jeff Wilson on line 4 for you guys.
Jeff Wilson, congratulations on being the only person in Australia able to get through to this studio. How are you, pal?
I'm good.
Where are you?
I'm on the road, just gone past the equestrian event at Hoxton Park.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see Captain Cook out there on his bike on the way to the velodrome.
Didn't see him on his cast-iron Malvern Star.
Lord sheep.
Yes.
Beats and corrugated iron. I'm thinking, did anybody actually say no to anything?
Yeah, I think at the last minute the Tony Bartuccio dancers were asked to withdraw, which I find personally sad. And our play, Billy, which was to get Ted Mowry
Yeah,
involved,
I know. Ted
was
Mulligan.
overlooked.
Oh.
We faxed him every day.
Completely overlooked. The other thing, Jeff, was apparently there was an idea, you know how they had 5 or 6 of our famous, female athletes there, former champions. The idea was apparently to get them all having a bit of a sausage sizzle around the cauldron. They thought that would be uniquely Australian. They were going to get Ronnie Clark out there in one of those sort of aprons, the Barbie apron with the fake tits on the front. And
It didn't happen.
But the other thing, Mick, though, in all seriousness, you and I thought a great oversight just in terms of balancing out the entertainment on the night, because you'll recall we had Vanessa Amorosi, the Human Natures, Julie Anthony. I think she's changed her name to Anthony. Julie Anthony it is now.
And you know what? For someone who's sung the Australian anthem all their life, even she doesn't know the words. Every time they cut to anyone else, you expect it. But I thought she might have made an effort.
Akadaka is the one I was going to throw in, though. I just thought if ACDC here would have just balanced things out absolutely beautifully. I mean, this isn't a piss take. I'm saying Akadaka at the opening ceremony. They're such an international band.
Yep.
Fitzy, I can see you nodding your head. You got the gooseneck rock and roll thing going here. It's a long way to the top to light this friggin' cauldron.
He's in the Angus Young shorts. Look at him. He's a fan.
I knew he was a fan.
He was indeed.
We've also got so young Rocco.
Oh, hello. We've gone mad. It's an abundance of calls. It's raining calls.
Rocco, how are you?
Good, Mick. It's good to hear you guys back on the radio again. You guys are both legends.
Oh, thank you very much.
Rocco, so are you now.
Yeah, mate.
Thanks, mate. I've just got a bit of a question to ask you. It's concerning the Aussie, Aussie, Aussie chant.
Yeah.
Can you guys think of a better chant for us? Because I think it's the most cringeworthy chant in all of the chants that have ever been made.
Really?
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know whether I agree with you. No, I know it's a little bit your bloody yobbo, lowbrow, but it's uniquely Australian, and I kind of like that.
I've got one for the closing ceremony.
What is it?
The old Angels. When we want everyone out of town, are we ever going to see your face again?
No way, get... Oh.
This is going for bronze, thanks to Coca-Cola Cap Off the Games, live around Australia on Triple M. Australia is going for bronze with Mick Molloy and Billy Birmingham, thanks to Coca-Cola Cap Off the Games.
Yes, indeed it is. Well done, Fitzy. You are on the case, pal. You should be in radio.
You should.
Now, listen... Well, Bruce McAvaney, it certainly bloody sounded like him.
I think I just saw him walk past before.
In the studio next door. Can you open the door, Fitzy, and just check one more time? I want to see if it is him.
Well done, Jenny. 23rd overall, a personal best. Doesn't augur well for Athens, though.
It certainly sounds like him, doesn't it?
He's gone nuts. What's he doing broadcasting from here? He's supposed to be out at Sobo or
Look, I don't know. He might
Bozo
be. He might be doing some sort of a special broadcast. Ours is not to reason why. Ours is just to bloody drop in on him occasionally and find out what the hell he's up to.
I like it a lot. Hey, Pendo, it's time for a medal tally count.
How are we looking for bronze?
A bronze medal tally count, because it's the only one we're interested in. Good Lord!
What?
China, what's that, China? 5 bronze. What happened there?
Well, you see, you get one and you want another one an hour later.
Yeah, they're just trying to not draw too much heat to themselves, I think. And Australia, well done, Australia, coming in second on the bronze tally count with 4, followed by, well done.
Oh, yeah.
Keep them coming. A lot of those coming from the velodrome. Well done, fellas. You're pulling your weight out there. I think Captain Cook himself came in third in the individual pursuit.
He could have done.
USA 2 bronze, Russia 2 bronze, Indonesia. Is that right, Pendo? Was that a mistake? 2 bronze. Really? And Italy 2 bronze. They're still getting over, I think, the Italians, the muck-up they had in the opening ceremony where apparently they mixed their colours with their whites and came out with a multicoloured costume.
There were some fabo costumes too, weren't they? Did you see the Canadians? They looked like they had the Gilligan's Island look going.
and the only other thing, we're just about over the opening ceremony. We've done an hour show on it, haven't we?
Mick, you did see the Bolivian wiping his nose, didn't you? It was very telling.
Yes,
it was very telling. And now the team from Bolivia. And there's a shot of a guy. You just go, oh.
We call that an unfortunate close-up. And the only other thing I thought, which was slightly disappointing, when they raised the Olympic flag, some wind would have been nice. Because there could have been someone hanging out there washing. In fact, I'm not sure they weren't hanging up Sir William Dean's underpants.
Australia, and welcome back to... going
for bronze.
Who's got Copperhead Road?
Right, Copperhead Road, Fitzy. Off with your fingers, pal. Jeez, that was a shocker. That was a shocker. No. We just discovered it in time, I think. We'll let you off. We'll let you off.
Harder.
But you do that again, pal. You're going to be in big trouble. All right, then, coming up in this great big fat chubby hour of going for bronze, we are going to be speaking to McAvaney Jones, I think, aren't we, Mickey?
Our first medal winner.
Our very first medal winner. That must be a bit of a hoot, being the first medal. Was a silver medal.
It was a silver, but it's close.
Close to bronze. Close to bronze. I know. She must be a tad disappointed, but we'll ask her about that.
Yeah.
And we might even give away some cash. We can give away some cash this hour.
Yeah, why not? Hey, and I'll tell you what, we might talk to Shane Kelly too.
Is he coming around?
Well, I reckon we're a good chance.
Wait,
yeah.
Any fitter, we'd need another Valium.
It's the Coca-Cola Cap Off for Games. This is Triple M's Going for Bronze with Mick Molloy and Billy Birmingham.
And it's a very big welcome to the Triple M microphone silver medalist, McAvaney Jones. Do you think we were out of tune enough there, McAvaney?
That was almost as good as the crowd on Saturday.
Hey, congratulations, McAvaney. You opened the account for Australia. First cab off the rank. How was the pressure?
No pressure, I wanted to win a gold medal, but I wanted to win it, yes, for myself, but for my country, of course.
Yep.
But silver ain't bad.
Yes, it sure ain't. What an exciting race it was, McAvaney.
No, exactly. And, I wanted to go into the race doing the best I possibly could. And I looked at the tape the other night and I said I gave everything I had, and that's why I'm very, very proud to be a silver medalist.
And so you should be.
So you should be.
How did you rate the course?
Oh, I loved it. How do you think I rated the course? It was awesome. It suited me.
Yeah, no, well, it certainly. What about the other competitors? How did they feel? Did you have a yarn with any of them about it?
No, I mean, I guess a few people were a little upset. There was a couple of crashes, but hey, that's what makes it exciting. That's racing. That's all a part of it. That you've got to get through the swim, you've got to get through the bike, you've got to get through the run, and that's the only way you can win the race.
How do you find? Do you practice the transitions a lot? Like, would you go out and spend a whole day just practicing jumping off the bike and changing down, because they seem to be crucial points along the way, don't they?
Oh, definitely. I think I had one of the fastest transitions and the swim to the bike and the bike to the run, and I actually had Reebok change my shoes so I could do that. So I figured everyone was practicing. I was just going to change my shoes.
Yeah, I wish I could get some help like that, because I can't put my jeans on in the morning without bouncing sideways into the cupboard and banging my head. You know what I mean?
I want to know.
Try taking off your wetsuit when it's 15 degrees and you just got out and you swam 1,500 metres. Normally, Kieran Perkins, he gets out of the pool and that's it. We've got to get on our bikes, take our wetsuits off and do the 40K, then run 10K.
Hey, that's how I got to work this morning. Don't you worry about that. Hey, can I ask, did they really have, like, shark prodders in the water with electric probes?
Did you spot any of them?
Okay, this is my analogy of the whole shark thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a shark and I saw 50 people thrashing each other around at the start of that swim, I wouldn't be hanging around.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be saying, look, I'll catch you next time, thanks. I'll
Yeah,
go off and look for a lonely swimmer on his own. Now, listen, what's the vibe in the village like? Are you in there yet?
No, unfortunately, I have been to the village twice, and as my husband said, because he's my coach, he said the highlight, he went and marched in the opening ceremony, but the highlight of that was he got to have dinner with Kieran Perkins.
Is that right?
So he's using you to get to Kieran Perkins.
What a man.
Nice,
what a guy. Listen, now, how does he feel about the 100,000 loose condoms flying around the village, Michaela? Has he given you any severe instructions in that regard?
He's got accreditation into the village.
Can we have a look at your medal? Can you hold it up for us?
I have not taken it off,
Looks
and I'm
fantastic.
wearing it with pride.
Well, our listeners are having a look at it now. Looks fantastic, mate. What do you think of our show so far, Michaela? Are you enjoying it?
It's amazing. You guys are just unbelievable. As I said, you guys are almost as good as proud on Saturday.
Well, we're only going for bronze. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want to be best or even second best. We're quite happy mucking around down the shallow end of the pool.
We're underachievers, Michaela, but we're very, very
Not
thrilled
at all.
for you. And thank you very much for joining us on Going for Bronze, Michaela Jones.
Bye.
Come on, everybody!
Live round is Going for Bronze with Billy Birmingham and Mick Molloy.
Thank you very much, Fitzy. And I tell you what, you're tingling in anticipation of the 200-metre final tonight between Thorpey, the Torpedo, and Peter Vanden Heuvelbiel. Did I get that right? Oh, Bruce would know that.
We're going to have a competition later on, I think, Mick, for anyone who can pronounce the guy's name. Hugenhagen, Norgenvars ice cream.
Can I buy a vowel? But on Thorpey, we haven't broached this topic yet, but we've got our first...
That's only because we're building.
We're building slowly,
beautifully.
surely. But have we
I think we'll continue to crescend in the words of Bruce McAvaney. We will, Mick. We'll continue to crescend.
But I think we've unearthed our first hero of the games.
Yep.
The guy is quite incredible. He's no longer allowed to swim in the 8 gold or less lane. No, seriously. I don't know what his secret weapons are. Apparently he's got a 193 centimetre span between arm to arm.
Yeah.
And let's not forget those size 17 flippers. I
know.
I saw him out the other day shopping for clown shoes. No, and here's this. Watch him,
trick shop.
Watch him on the podium tonight. If he wins, watch him when he stands there. He hangs 10. He hangs 10 on the podium. But this boy, he is a freak. Oh. He is magnificent, and he could beat anyone. And you know how they go to the trouble of shaving? Like, if someone does, as we've already pointed out, kind of set a best time, they go, that was 6 minutes 40, unshaved. With Thorpey, I reckon, just to get the psychological edge, he should stand on there with a fully-grown beard. He should grow a salty old sea dog beard. Smoke a pipe. This is how you going, fellas?
See, it's
feeling confident?
It throws them out of whack, Mick. It throws them out of whack. So they should be using you for some sort of,
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes to psych the team up. You're full of these bloody good ideas, and they're only emerging now. They should have been really in the Aussie camp and being used.
Well,
but it was a magnificent swim. The magnificent swim the other night, but I actually think his swim in the 4x100.
Yep.
Because he's not,
sensational.
Gary Hall Jr. is the real sprinter.
That's his event.
And I was pleased to hear Dawn Fraser say, because we were saying it, Mick, as you know, when we were watching it, man, that's one of the best races you've ever seen, because the lead kept changing.
Yep.
Relay races over the years have tended to be, someone's out and it might be a bit of a fight for bronze or silver or whatever, but that was an absolute neck and neck. So 1 minute they're in front, and then Gary Hall put I think he must have put almost a body length on Thorpe, and then he just blasted home in the last 25. Dawn Fraser said it was the greatest race she'd ever seen.
And how about the bookends? Klim got in, swam a world record time.
Yeah.
Then Thorpe brought it home, and the other two boys. See, how's that? I can't even tell you their names, which is so sad.
Well, I can tell you Chris Feidler, but I do have to say, I was after the race, so I'm asking myself, who the is Ashley Callis? I mean, I'm thrilled that we have. I'm thrilled that we have unearthed another swimming star, but I am marginally embarrassed to say, Mick, that if you'd said to me on Friday night, Ashley Callis, what's he in? I don't think I would have known. I don't think I would have
asked for some thinking music.
I would have asked for some thinking music, exactly.
Hey, do we have to solicit for some callers now, Fitzy?
Yes. Oh, jeez, I love that word.
Yeah, no,
I love that word.
I'll be making a lot of sense of that at home.
But I like our, I like our phone number better. It's 1-800-150-000, and we are going to give away some money. It's probably some sort of trivia competition. I'm sure we can work up a couple of tough questions for people. 1-800-150-000, and then you can play our little game, which is called How the Would I Know?
Billy and Mick, two guys who lobbied hard to have cockfighting as an Olympic sport. It's Triple M's going for bronze, thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games.
And Billy Birmingham.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Fitzy. Now, we've got a little trivia competition. Mick Molloy has been delving into his bag of tricks, working up some pretty tough questions. And I've got to tell you people out there, each question here, if you're lucky enough to get on the line, is worth $200, and there's 5 questions. Do the mathematics, Fitzy. 200 times 5. If you get them all right, you're going to pick yourself up a cool gorilla.
That's a year's pay for me.
That cannot... That is not...
Deal.
That's not to be sneezed at. Now, in keeping with our Going for Bronze theme, we've taken the third caller, and it just happens to be Angela Waters from Sandringham in Victoria. Hello, Angela.
Hi, guys.
How you going?
Oh, nervous as hell.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, no need to be nervous. This little game is called How the Would I Know?
Yeah.
And we're about to find out whether you do know.
It's a series of 5 questions.
5
multiple
questions.
Choice,
multiple choice, too,
200.
exactly. So it's not like you have to sit there scratching your head. You can at least have a stab at one of them.
Can I pass and go to the next question?
No, but we might let you phone a stranger. Okay?
You've got a lifeline.
You might have a lifeline and phone a stranger. Okay.
Shall we get this underway?
Here we go. Fire away.
All right, here's your first one here, Angela. Which of the following events is making its debut at the Games? A, beach volleyball. B, lap dancing. C, basketball. D, women's weightlifting.
The last one, the weightlifting.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Well done. You just picked yourself up a cool $200, and that is not to be sneezed at, young Angela. I'm sure you agree.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to go now, or do you want to keep playing? Here we go. Second question: which of the following men was a member of the 4x100 freestyle relay gold medal team? A, Andrew Hoy. B, Ashley Callis. C, Ben Zadrine. And D, Matt Dunn. A, Andrew Hoy. B, Ashley Callis. C, Ben Zadrine. And D, Matt Dunn. You've got 5 seconds.
Come on.
Jeez. I'm sorry. Oh.
How the do I know that?
I give it the 200 anyway.
You know what I would have said? I would have said the last one.
Matt Dunn? No, I'm afraid. What's Matt do? He's a swimmer.
He's a swimmer.
He's a swimmer, but not in that race.
And Andrew Hoy, of course, is an equestrian.
I think you'll find
field, and he is doing so well at the moment. He could be riding 2 men in a pantomime horse costume, and I reckon he'd win his event. Yeah. He's a champion.
Was he the horse that had all the flappies off his hoof?
Yes, I think it was, actually.
Bugger, I saw him today.
Yeah, but that's okay. He wasn't the right answer anyway, Angela. Calm down, pal.
I think his horse was actually racing in stilettos. No, it's something new he does.
His name was Roland.
All right, here we go.
Ben Zadrine is in every event, I think you'll find.
Let's soldier on. Here's one for you. I bet you get this one. One of the stars of the Aussie women's basketball team in their big first up win against Canada was A, Michelle Ferris. B, Lauren Jackson. C, Margaret Whitlam. D, Sarah Ryan.
Ooh. Come on. Women's basketball. Women's basketball team.
One thing I don't watch.
First up win against Canada. No one watches it. But it doesn't matter. Michelle Ferris, Lauren Jackson, Margaret Whitlam, or Sarah Ryan?
Ferris.
Oh, sorry. Lauren Jackson was the correct answer.
Oh, that's too hard, guys.
That's okay. Now, look, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. Question 4. The athlete's oath at the opening ceremony was taken by A, Juan Antonio Samaranch, B, Alan Bond, C, Rochelle Hawkes, D, Michael Knight.
Rochelle.
Yes.
Rochelle Hawkes, yes. Well done.
You know what I'd like to have seen at the opening ceremony?
What?
Michael Knight in his supercar kit. Doing a lap.
You know the Governor-General?
Yeah.
Was he on the terps?
I think he was taken away for drug testing almost immediately.
We're not too. We saw someone leading him off with a beaker in their hand. So we're thinking that they might have been taking him off for a little test, especially after he bashed up the mic. And apparently he's been sent a bill for that microphone, which is now completely unusable.
He needs a roadie. He needs a roadie. Here's the last one.
Here we go.
Question number 5. Come on. What are we sitting on now? $400, is it?
I think she's got. You got how much have you got, Angela? We can't keep counting. You've got 2 right. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, last question.
Boot at home. Brad McGee won bronze in the individual pursuit last night. 2 weeks ago, he broke A, wind, B, toenail, C, shoulder, D, collarbone.
Collarbone.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't give that away, did I?
No, you didn't, Nick. Well done, Angela. That was Angela Waters from Sandringham in Victoria. You've just picked yourself up a lazy $600.
I love you guys.
We love you more.
This is going for bronze.
Shane, did you join in?
Oh, mate, no, you're doing well without me. That was great.
How could you not? I suppose probably because you're sitting in a car and you're thinking, if I start singing along with the boys here, they're going to cart me away.
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, mate, we're very, very thrilled for you. We're very thrilled that you've been able to join us here on Going for Bronze. You must have been very, very pumped up.
Yeah, well, yes and no. You know, I was a bit mixed. You know, I went there to win gold and didn't quite achieve that. But, yeah, now I've sort of got myself around a bronze now. I'm pretty happy.
Well, yeah, well, you should be. Well, our show is, in fact, called Going for Bronze, so you can imagine how pumped we are.
Mate,
Exactly.
when you bagged the bronze, me and Billy were watching in our lounge room. It was big hugs all round. In fact, the cycling team have put in a magnificent effort, in fact, and have bagged 3 bronze today.
Actually, that was yesterday, yeah.
I'm sure there'll be more bronze jumping into the boat before it's over. Tell me how you felt getting that, because the French rider who was the champion, he rode last, and I suppose at that stage you thought he was going to tip you out of the medals.
Yeah, mate. You know, I was thinking, here I am, I'm going to get 4th place. You know, no one likes to get 4th. That's
Yeah.
You might as well be last. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
So the pressure was on, like world record holder, world champ, and he started pretty good, then he just faded away. So yeah, I was pretty wrapped at that stage.
How hard is it to race during the individual when you're not racing against anyone else? You're kind of racing against the clock. Do you know how you're going at the time? Are you pacing yourself?
Nah, for me, mate, it's flat out maximum start and just flat out the whole way. The only indication I had was from the crowd when the splits come up for each lap on the scoreboard.
Yep.
And did the crowd really lift you, mate? I mean, you could hear it all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew at the halfway mark I was in the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
But then I faded away as well. And, yeah, certainly the crowd was great.
Yeah, look, I've been quite enjoying the cycling from the velodrome. I reckon they could probably spruce it up a bit with a couple of extra events. You know what I'd like to see, Shane?
What's that?
Here we go.
You know those bikes the goodies used to ride? You know, why not a race, 3 blokes on the one bike? That's got to be good. I'd be out there with bells on.
Well, they used to have the tandem race, but they took that out. They took that out a few years ago, which that used to be a bit of a spectacle because there's always a crash.
Yeah, no, they always were good. It was sort of the cycling equivalent of the 2-man luge, wasn't it, you know?
You're in the individual pursuit. Rock up with a basket on your bike. You know what I mean? They'll be going, hey, how confident's this bloke?
Mate, exactly.
Oh, here you're coming when you ring your bell.
Mate, a little carton of chocolate milk and a bread roll for lunch or something in there?
Rock up on a unicycle. You know what I mean? G'day, fellas. Who's here to race? Hey, can I just ask one thing? And we see this, I think it's more specific to cycling than anything else. The science involved, like the the Americans, they've got bikes made by NASA. We're seeing some of the most weird-ass helmets I've ever seen this year.
I want one of them.
Science, does it still play as big a part in the technology than the actual rider?
Certainly that's the way it's going. We've probably taken a few steps back from what we were in '96 Olympics.
Right.
They wanted to sort of get things on a more level playing field, but the science of it, how you train and all that sort of stuff, it does play a big part.
Yeah. Mate, I suppose you're wrong. Did you super glue your feet in this time?
No, actually, it went better. I actually bolted them in.
Bolted them in?
Yeah, no chance.
You noticed, you probably had a look at the replay, you saw the camera zooming right in on your feet there, and there's about 6 pairs of hands doing the big tightening up of the buckles and whatever, so you've bolted them in this time.
Yeah, I bolted them in and had the leather strap, so
Did you?
no chance at all.
And all that practising you did on the Opera House.
Well, I tell you what, the last lap, that's how I felt. It felt like I was riding up the Opera House. It started to hurt a bit.
Which part of your body was hurting most, your legs or your quoit?
Oh, mate, no, Croy, that's long gone, that one.
Is it? Yeah, well, she's as hard as a rock now, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit old leather.
I mean, it's like, exactly. See, a lot of people want to know this, when you ride a bike that often, do you end up with what you call a calloused quoit? Where you could sit on a hot fry pan and not feel a damn thing.
Billy Birmingham, he asks the hard questions, doesn't he? Hey, thanks for joining us today, Shane.
We're very happy for you, mate.
We think it's a fantastic effort, and it backs up your silver at Barcelona and your credit to the country. And on the way home, could you pull by and give me a dink? There's another event I'd like to see.
The dink.
Dink. God, I think that's a pillion, isn't it?
Pillion passenger.
Must be a Melbourne word, I think, Shane. Mate, many thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the game. See you later,
Thanks,
mate.
fellas. Will do.
Bronze for Australia.
G'day Australia, I'm Kathy Freeman, and the only reason I run so fast is so I can get home in time to listen to Billy and Mick on Going for Bronze, right here on Triple M.
Triple M is Going for Bronze with Mick Molloy and Billy Birmingham, thanks to Coca-Cola Cap Off the Games.
Yes, indeed it is. Now, McAvaney, Bruce McAvaney appears to be broadcasting in this room next to us. Can you open the door, Fitzy, and see what the hell he's up to?
No worries.
Toss a leg over. She's done it. The Russian champion. Not since the great East German Nora Titsov have we seen such...
What's he covering there?
I have no
What's
idea.
he covering there?
He's on whatever Sir William Dean was on.
Oh, he's recording. Maybe he's recording. Maybe it's live. I don't know.
Coming up next on Going for Bronze, the boys, we'll talk to Mikey Robbins and Triple M.
Australia. Yes, Australia, welcome back. I'm Billy Birmingham. He's Mick Molloy, and you're listening to
Molloy.
And we are joined at the Triple M microphone by none other than Mikey Robbins.
Get off me, I'm done.
Mikey, how good was that, eh?
Oh, I
Have
tell
you
you,
ever had an intro like it?
I will.
Of all the intros you've had, that's got to be the most recent.
Piece of magic, eh? I don't know.
But we give it to him every time, even when we're not on air.
Look, there's Mikey.
Scares the hell out of people in pubs. It's terrifying.
Mikey, tell us. We haven't seen... In fact, we did see you late last week, but we haven't seen you for a few days. We haven't seen you since there's been opening ceremonies and metal flying around in the gold, silver and bronze variety.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? What are your highlights? What do you think?
I got ring fever. I'm crazy for it.
Really?
Mad for it, guys.
You've been getting around like a dog, doing circles on the ground, scratching itself.
I knew something was up. Friday afternoon, my wife and I laid in some supplies. We thought we won't be living in the lounge room for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I went to the shops, came home, and we bought a little plastic Australian flag.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and stuck it in our
Very
yard.
nice of you. Yeah, for you.
Yeah, stuck it in our front yard. 5 minutes later, I went out, it had been nicked.
Is that
Makes you proud, eh?
I'll return it. You know what I mean? I was just borrowing it, Mikey.
Now, of course, the opening ceremony, I was first thing that moved me was the Ken Dome, the world's biggest tea towel.
Oh, wasn't that a beauty?
Good day. I thought, geez.
What's going on? Could have tipped it.
No.
What will Ken be up to?
I believe for the closing ceremony he's working on the world's biggest pillowcase. Should be magic.
Saying F off.
Yep. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Now, William Dean, what was your theory?
Look, I don't know. I thought he was about to break into some kind of, version of studio.
Yeah.
But I can't be sure.
My theory is that John Howard, in a fit of jealousy, wedgied the bugger at the last minute.
Look, I said to Mick earlier that it was one of those things where you felt sorry for the guy. I was watching him in the replay, and I'm thinking, does he look out of whack? Does he look like he's worried? Does he look... And he wasn't. But I think maybe Juan Antonio gave him a bum setup. That's all I can put it down to.
Maybe I thought, in the whole tradition of history, he was paying, tipping the lid to the fine tradition John Kerr set many years ago at the Melbourne Cup.
He was obviously the only guy on the night not miming.
Mike, I'll tell you what, it's a bit embarrassing. Imagine all the Americans. So far they've heard Juan Antonio do his Sydney. And no, it's Sydney, and then all of a sudden, Billy Dean's come on with Sydney. We don't even know the name of our own town here.
We basically could get Kenny Callender out there to have a crack at
Sydney. Exactly, spray the whole audience, cool them down.
Well, that was a high point for me, though. I was depressed for the opening ceremony. I thought not enough tap dancing.
Oh, no.
Could have gone on for another day, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, no, the good point.
Yeah, they kept coming back to it, didn't they?
Oh, it was magic.
It's like, one more time.
Please.
Hello.
Where would they have rehearsed them quietly? We've got 1,000 tap dancers. We want to sneak off surreptitiously and rehearse all 1,000.
Apparently somewhere near Oxford Street.
And you'd think they would have finished building the actual set before the ceremony went on. All that welding. It's just embarrassing. Finish it, fellas. It was almost down tools and smoko in the middle of the parade.
It was horribly underprepared.
My favourite look was the look of surprise on the athletes from Bhutan and Saudi Arabia as they were forced to shake hands with John Farnham. It's like, I am a big rock star, hello.
That's right, when they walked down the little corridors, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I mean, most of them knew Livy, because Grease was the #1 film in Bhutan all through the 80s and 90s.
Really?
But they'd never seen Farnham before, and I think he actually scared some of the smaller athletes.
Yeah. G'day, how you going? You mongrels.
Fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
I think we're getting the wind-up. Are we going to come back with more Mikey in a minute? Come on, he's
Hold
not done
those
yet.
thoughts, Mikey. Hold those thoughts.
G'day Australia, I'm Susie O'Neill, and I wish to Christ I didn't have to swim so much, because then I could hear more of Billy and Mick going for bronze right here on Triple M.
Thanks, Susie.
You're welcome, mate.
On Triple M, it's going for bronze live around Australia thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games with Billy Birmingham, Mick Molloy and Mikey Robbins.
And, Mikey, I've got to ask you, we've talked a bit about the opening ceremony today. What did you make of the big finale, the closing bit? Was it a surprise to you? Did it rock you?
Kathy, huge surprise for me, because about 6 months ago, I put a $1,000 bet down that Mark Philippoussis would be lighting the flame.
The poo?
The poo, I thought, loved by the Australian team, loved by Australia. He's won an event somewhere, hasn't he?
Something, sure.
I thought the poo's the man for the future.
Sure. Yeah. So you were shocked and appalled to find it wasn't the poo.
Well, Kathy Freeman, okay, fine, but why wasn't the poo up there doing it? He's the man.
The Flaming Edgar.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Ivan Milat.
It could have been. He's been snubbed
again.
Snubbed yet again. No, it was a piece of magic. But my favourite thing was watching the 4 Golden Girls. They are great. They are legends.
Yep.
But when you look at the 4 of them together, I could have sworn 20 years ago they served me in a tuck shop somewhere.
It had that look, didn't it?
I mean, that's a compliment. It's a great Aussie look.
Hey, you bailed out of that one nicely, Mikey.
Oh, mate, I said, I've got ring fever. I'm crazy for it.
And you're not the only one.
Tell me, Mikey, did anyone notice Kevin Gosper's look on his face? He looked like he'd eaten something really, really nasty when he was presenting that medal. Did you see
Yeah, but I think that's how he gets about.
Is it?
I don't know if he was... What he's suggesting, you think he was off the boil too?
No, I'm just saying he was standing there about to... I mean, he's an former Australian Olympian. He's about to proudly present the 4x100 relay team with their medal, and I tell you what, he just looked like he'd been shot. And
there you go. I would rather have given it to Sophie.
Well, he might have been. They do the announcements and stuff, and Kevin Gosper, and I suppose he thought after the whole brouhaha with the torch relay that he might have copped a bit of a boo.
Actually, I think Mick's on the right the right lane there. He had promised the medal to Sophie. He's a little upset.
And these 4 other bastards have come and stolen it. That explains it all.
He did a little fright. Mind you, I wasn't actually watching that because I flicked over to one of the cable channels to catch the 10-metre air pistol.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
We won bronze in, which
we
is
did,
fantastic.
indeed.
That's a bronze.
What was the name?
Bronze.
What was the name of that girl? What was the name of that girl?
Anne-Marie Forder.
Anne-Marie Forder. Beautiful.
Look, an exacting sport, but not exactly what you'd call thrilling, exciting telly.
And you know what? This is what I can't understand about the air rifle. Why aren't they shooting cans off a fence? You know what I mean? That's more appropriate than a target. In my day, that's all you did.
Or Mick just released, say, 20 minor birds in there. Try and pin one. No, they're feral. It's okay.
She trains on road signs, apparently, so she said.
In fact, I think she should be shooting out the back of a moving ute. That's the way to go.
All these good ideas, I'm telling you.
Well,
next time we're going to get early. Before Athens, we're going to get in early with these suggestions.
Hit them up with our good ideas. These are all sports that are in that we're thinking, why? Now, here's a question I'd like to pose for you, gents.
Right.
What about those sports we feel should be in but aren't?
Like cockfighting.
Like cockfighting, as previously mentioned. Something you can bet on.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Here's one I reckon, and this is one, and this is as Australian as it gets, the Birdman Rally. You know, why aren't we...
People around the world would love it.
Why isn't there a guy standing on the top of the podium with cereal boxes strapped to his wings, strapped to his arms, and a homemade cape? He could dive off it. See how far he gets off the top of the podium.
Magic.
I think the idea is running around out there now, and it'll be included in Athens.
Red Rover, or British Bulldog. British Bulldog. How about good old hide and seek?
Hello.
You're talking. At a beautiful big stadium like that, plenty of places to hide and seek.
Mate, it'd go on forever.
It'd take them 6 months to find
I reckon, we want to hear from you guys out there in listener land all around Australia. Give us a call and tell us what sport would you like to see included in the Olympic Games. The Going for Bronze hotline is 1800 150 000. Give us a call.
This is Going for Bronze, live around Australia on Triple M with Mick, Billy Birmingham and Mikey Robbins. We're back in just a sec with more gold. Or is that bronze?
It's bronze!
Bronze! Going for Bronze with Billy Birmingham, Mick Molloy and Mikey Robbins.
Bronze for Australia.
Hey, and speaking of Australia, we are about to open the phone lines around. That's right.
This big bronzed land.
This big bronzed land. You got it in one. Hey, let's check in with Rob. Are you there, buddy?
I certainly am, Mick. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Rob, what's on your mind? We're talking sports that we feel have been neglected by the IOC. Should be in there. What are you reckoning?
Boys, I think you're going to love this as an overall concept. The Paralympics, but it's the Paralytic Olympics. You sculpt 3 or 4 VBs and climb to the roof of the house and dive into the pool. You know, you get points for diving.
Right.
You get, time.
You just keep consuming more and more alcohol, taking on more and more difficult things.
And you have to take a drug test as well, and you have to have a certain you've got to be over the quota.
You have to be over 05. Yeah, I'd like to see a nasty accident off the top of the podium.
That sounds great, Rob. We'll be over after the show, mate. We'll be over after the show to do some training.
Extra 5 points for catching your ass on the edge of the barbecue.
Hey, Todd.
I've been training for 5 years. I'm around the clock. You guys have got to put in more.
Oh, we will. Is Todd on the line?
Yes, mate. How you going?
Good, Todd. It's Billy Birmingham. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm fantastic, Billy.
What's happening, matey? What sport would you like to see in the Olympics?
Mate, I'd like to see the old put the broom in the air, run around 10 times, jump over it, then Skeletini.
Is that, you guys know that one?
No, that's a good one. That's the best halftime entertainment I've ever seen at the basketball.
No, I'm not. Fill me in. What happens?
Well, this is at the basketball, and I've seen this once. I saw this in America. They get everyone out at half time. They get people out of the audience, and they have to put a baseball bat on their nose, look up, and spin round 10 times really quickly.
Right.
Then dribble the ball to the basket and shoot. And dead set, you got guys going sideways into the first 4 rows. It does look like magic. You know that look you get on a newly born calf.
Yeah,
that's trying to struggle to its feet.
Now combine that with javelins.
Hello. Hey. And from either end. What about javelin on from either end. One throwing one way, one throwing the other.
Or just one throwing, one catching.
It's javelin dueling. It's javelin dueling. Todd, thanks a lot for that call, matey. You've put the thought into the IOC's mind, I think, anyway.
I think so. They're writing that one down as we speak.
Hey, Nikki, where are you?
I'm in Narrowena, guys.
How's things at Narrowena?
Lovely, beautiful, warm.
Say hi to Mick and Mikey.
Hi, guys.
How are you, Nikki?
Got a bit of a Laurie Lawrence throat, you know.
Have you?
Yeah, a bit of the Aussie going on around here.
You've been barracking too hard at the television, haven't you?
Go, you bastard!
Go, Bronze!
Go, Bronze!
Yes.
I'm scared of Nikki.
Nikki, what's...
Nikki's head's spinning 360 degrees as we speak, letting go of the old pea super.
Nikki, fire away with your suggestion of what sports should be included in the Olymps.
Well, I've got a whole concept for the alternate Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah, we got three-legged races, egg and spoon races, mud wrestling.
All right.
The whole works, big sack races, let's go for it.
Right. You're on fire.
Instead of a podium, we have milk crates.
Yeah.
One milk crate for bronze.
Yeah.
Two for silver, and three for gold, right? You've got to get really, 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 really stoned. With the alternate Olympics.
With someone's old record collection still in the milk crate. You know what I mean? They can pull the tunes out. I like the three-legged idea. I think that's good. Although I think Shervington's already doing it.
I think so.
If you've seen him beating himself up down the straight.
I think it'd be a two-horse race. It's the Matt Shervington or Rolf Harris, isn't it? I mean,
Rolf. Is Rolf going to do the closing ceremony?
Oh, don't tell me he's the big surprise. I tell you what, that wobble board's going straight into that big bastard furnace if I'm there.
Absolutely. We'll be frisbeeing the thing right into the big cauldron.
Yes, indeed.
So thanks for those calls, guys. We might even get some more suggestions later in the week of sports that should be included in the Olymps.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in a minute with more Going for Bronze. We're going to have a bit of a yarn with Mikey Robbins, and here's some more of his thoughts on these games of the 27th Olympiad.
Yeah, it's Going for Bronze. Thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games on Triple M.
Mind you, the creepy thing was John Howard, our beloved Prime Minister, was there.
Yeah.
And, of course, the night before he was there with Thorpe. You get the feeling that Johnny's only showing up at events where we're a dead cert for a gold.
Or he's got the Midas touch. Having him there is a guarantee of the gold.
I doubt very much whether that's the case.
You know what? I reckon he's very brave turning up at the same place where people have loaded guns.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He'd have the vest on for sure.
He's got the same size as a clay pigeon.
Don't release the clay pigeon. Just have Howard in a cage and just pull it off. Off you go, little fella.
Careful of the phraseology there, Mick.
Well,
yes, indeed. Here's another funny story here. A couple of people playing, the Ned Kelly things running around.
Yeah. Oh, this is the opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony. All the little Ned Kellys running around at the opening ceremony. Well, here's a little bit in the paper. In the middle of the opening ceremony, James Turfner, it's Toepfer, Turfer. How would you pronounce it? There's a silent P in there. Could be in the dope testing room.
Yep.
And he's dancing in a Ned Kelly costume, and he's popped the question to his girlfriend, Sally Gregg, who's also dressed as Ned Kelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently the problem was he couldn't find her. He had this grand idea to propose marriage to her. So he's running around trying to find her. Eventually... You haven't got any groovy music for this, have you? Eventually, they've kissed and they've bumped helmets, Mick. And bumped helmets is a nice expression, isn't it?
Yeah.
And carried on with the performance. Isn't that a nice little romantic story?
What if she's got the wrong one? What if he proposed to the wrong...
Well, apparently it did take James a while to track down Sally. Yes. Are you Sally Gregg? Shh, are you Sally Gregg? And he's bashing into helmets while he's asking.
Good Lord. In fact, imagine them... consummating that marriage.
In the
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. I'll pass the lubricant.
Ned. Touch me below the knees. Just below the knees. That's gorgeous.
That's not a helmet. You're an anteater.
Triple M's Going for Bronze. Thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games.
It's Going for Bronze with Billy Birmingham, Mick Molloy and Mikey Robbins.
Mickey, my boy.
Yeah.
What is coming up tonight? I think that's what's...
a bit of a preview.
I need a bit of
events tonight. All right.
What's going on?
Strap yourself in, boys. There's a couple of big uns here. Susie O'Neill is in the semi-final of the 200-metre freestyle. She qualified first, did she not, Pendo, this morning?
Certainly did.
Good Magic. Well done, Susie.
That's the way we like it. Are they doing the dog paddle this year? Or is that just in the individual medley?
Make a note to check that, will you?
Yeah. I think we need to sort that out. Here's a feel-good story. 15-year-old Liesl Jones and Redcliffe training partner Tani White both qualified for tonight's 100-metre women's
Fabulous.
breaststroke final.
Magic.
Well done, girls.
Lovely girls.
That was my stroke at school. I was fantastic.
Well, the best. That's the way I like to hear that kind of stuff. And, of course, let's not forget Thorpe and the forgotten man, Grant Hackett, will take their place against, I'm going to try it, Dutch ace Peter van den Heugelboogel.
Yeah, it was actually a brand of Citroen in the mid-70s.
It was a good one. And the 200-metre freestyle final, you'll be glued to the set like me for that. Here's one in cycling, the men's pursuit team. Takes on the mighty German team tonight. And you know what I love about the German team?
What?
On top of their helmets, they've still got those spikes. The ones
but their big problem, though, is actually stopping the bikes when they reach Poland. Because they just want to keep going right through to Stalingrad.
We're out of here. It's the world's biggest paper round every time.
That sounds like a ball show for me.
Here's a story. In boxing tonight, James Swan has his first fight in the 57-kilogram division.
Right.
And another Australian, Paul Miller, will go into battle in the 75-kilogram category. On boxing, here's a great story. What's the guy's name, Pendo?
Spike Cheney.
Spike Cheney.
Spike
Cheney. Listen, he carried the torch, right? And he carried it for a leg. He was down at, I believe, the Woolshed pub the other night in Sydney.
Good pub.
And he'd taken down his torch, because everyone who carries a torch gets a torch.
All right.
So he'd taken it down, and he was having a few beers, showing a few mates. Anyway, everyone's had a couple, and everyone's trying to grab his torch off him. He's turned around and bludgeoned two of the assailants with an Olympic torch, which I'm now calling Exhibit A. It was Colonel Mustard in the Woolshed with the torch.
It's torch relay bashing. It's got to go in.
It's going for bronze. Live around Australia on Triple M, thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games.